Good morning, Sunview families. It's Mrs. Hilliard here from Occupational Therapy. You might know me as Miss Alyssa. I hope you guys are doing well and staying safe and healthy at home with your families. I miss seeing you guys at school, so hopefully you can join me on YouTube doing some occupational therapy every week, in addition to the Zoom meeting that we have scheduled or are going to schedule. So I have 3 bins in front of me. I know you guys are used to seeing these at school. We have bin number 1, bin number 2, and bin number 3. Bin number 1 always has our hand strengthening activities. Bin number 2, we work on cutting and writing and drawing. And bin number 3, we always work on self-help skills. And for you Sunview kids, I know you're working on shoe tying with me. So I have a shoe in bin number 3. So before we even start our bins, we always work on some exercises to help our big muscles get strong. Since we can't use our balloon or play catch or throw a ball at a target, we're going to just do regular exercises without using any of those things. So we're going to start first by doing our shoulder exercises, lifting our shoulders up to our ears 10 times like this. Lift up and push down. So we're going to do 10 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. You guys are doing great. Good job. Now we're going to put our hands on our shoulders and we're going to make backwards arm circles. So you're going to draw a circle backwards with your elbow. We're going to do 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now we're going to make our hands strong by squeezing really tight and opening our fingers really wide. So let's do 10 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good job. You guys are doing great. So now we're going to do bin number 1. So in bin number 1, we're just going to start with some Play-Doh. And I know I use this in my other YouTube video too. If you watch that, I made a YouTube video for preschool, but it does apply to some of you guys at Sunview too. There are some great activities, and you can sing the putty song if you watch that video. So we use therapy putty at school. It's a little more like silly putty. So if you have silly putty, you can use that, or you can just use Play-Doh or make Play-Doh at home. So today, I'm just going to use Play-Doh, and the first thing we usually do is we roll it into a ball, and I think some of you guys like to sing when you do this one. And then we're going to push down really hard and flatten the putty or the Play-Doh, and then roll it up. You guys are doing a great job making your hands strong. This is great for shoulder stability and strengthening those little intrinsic muscles in your hand and the palm of your hand. And then you're going to pinch using those writing fingers. We get nice and flat. And then we turn our putty long ways and roll it up using those writing fingers again. So those writing fingers are getting a lot of exercise with putty. All right, and it should look like that when you're done. A rose or a cinnamon bun, whatever you prefer. All right, also in bin number 1, I have 10 pennies. So if you want to pause this video and go round up 10 pennies or 10 coins, that would be great. And what we do in OT, we usually have these foam circles that have a yellow side and a red side, so it's a little easier to see when kids are flipping coins. Okay, and if you don't have coins in the house, you can use anything small like bingo markers, even Scrabble board letters, anything small. So you can see my 10 pennies are lined up left to right because that's how we read, left to right. So we're working on crossing visual midline, and we're also working on our motor skills. So on the count of 3, we're gonna flip the pennies, and I don't wanna see you slide them to the end of the table because that's cheating. We're gonna flip the pennies using our writing fingers. Ready, set, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good job. Now, a more advanced skill with pennies is being able to pick up all those pennies with your hand while holding on to the ones that you already picked up. So that's called translation. It's a hand skill. You're moving a penny from the tips of your fingers into your palm. And then for you 2nd and 3rd graders, and even some of you 1st graders, you can practice putting the pennies down while you're still holding all of the pennies in your palm. You guys are doing great. And then the last skill I have kids usually do is put a penny in the middle of their palm and then try to get that penny to the tips of their fingers without turning their hand down. So usually kids will try to go like this to get it to the tips of their fingers, but I really want them to keep their palm up and move that coin to the tip of their fingers. All right, you guys are doing a great job. So we are all done with the pennies. We're gonna work on cutting and writing next. And we can throw everything in bin 1. It's an easy cleanup. So bin number 2 has a writing activity and a cutting activity. All right, today we're gonna make some flowers since it's spring. So you will need straws, Scotch tape, and construction paper, a marker, and scissors. All right. So I actually ripped my construction paper in half because it saves paper, and you can make 2 flowers out of 1 piece. And then you'll need a marker. So I have a red marker. And I'm trying to keep these activities simple so you guys can use stuff that you have around your house. Okay, you're gonna put your hand down. This works on hand preference, which is nice because you have a stabilizing hand and a hand that is doing the tracing. And you're gonna trace your hand. Make sure you close up the bottom so it looks like that. And then we're gonna cut out the hand. So a lot of kids are working on cutting out complex shapes. So we're gonna cut out the hand. You guys are doing such a good job. Hang in there. Okay, and remember, when you get to a corner and you can't go anymore with your scissors, you're gonna stop and turn the paper. And that's called bilateral integration, using 2 hands together. It's a fancy term. Okay, and mom and dad can help you if you need help turning that paper. And when you're done, your hand should look something like this. All right, and you guys are doing a great job. You can always pause this video and work on your scissor skills. Take a little more time. And then we're gonna take a straw. That's already a flower. We're gonna take a straw. You can use a plastic straw, a paper straw, or anything that looks like a straw that you have at home. You can even use a stick from outside. They actually look really pretty when you make them. So, and then we're gonna take the hand and roll it around the straw. So it's easier to do this on the table, but I'm holding it up because I want you guys to see it. So we're gonna roll it up at the top of the straw so you have a nice long stem. And then you're gonna take some tape, and you can hear my dog barking in the background. I apologize for that. And then once you tape that around that straw really good, Okay, it should look something like this. Then I want you guys to, I'm gonna put one more piece of tape on mine because my tape is not staying. And then you can fold down the fingers, okay? And then you have a beautiful flower. And I made a few, so when you make a lot of flowers, it actually looks really pretty, and you can put them in a vase. So you guys did a great job with that. All right, so we're ready for the writing activity. So on the website that I sent Mom and Dad, there's a Google website. They can print some writing paper that looks like this. So this is usually what you guys are writing on in OT, something like this. Or you can use regular lined notebook paper, college ruled. That's fine too. Okay, and we're gonna make our own high rate paper. So the way that I want you guys to do this is you're gonna take a highlighter or a yellow marker works, and you're just gonna highlight half of the line, the bottom half of the writing line. I'm gonna do 3 lines, but you can do more. And this is a nice visual cue to show you where your letters need to be on the writing line. So when you're done, it kind of is going to look like this. And that's high rate paper, okay? Or highlighted line paper, whatever you want to call it. And I have a poem printed out, but you guys can make up your own sentence too. But I like copying because copying is a very good visual motor task. So I just printed this from dltkkids.com. It's a great website. They have a lot of stuff on there that you guys can print poems and cut and paste projects. So I printed my spring garden because it goes with our spring garden flowers. So the one thing I really look for when you guys are writing at first is how you hold the pencil. And a lot of kids hold the pencil like this, but I want you to pinch the pencil. So I want you to pinch the pencil and make sure this side of your hand is resting on the writing surface. If you have a long pencil like this, then most kids will go like this to hold the pencil. And I know you guys, I don't want you to use your whole hand to hold the pencil. So you can always break your pencil in half or use a golf pencil, and that will encourage a good writing grasp for you guys. And I don't think I have another short one in here, but you can also use a pencil grip, and that's something that we can use next week when I meet with you guys and make another video. But that will encourage a writing grasp that is efficient. And it's nice to have that open space here too. Some kids wrap their thumb, but what that does is that causes them to write with their shoulder muscles and the bigger muscles in their arm, and it can cause fatigue with writing. So, and some kids bend their wrist like this when they're writing, and the shoulder, the eraser of the pencil points away from the shoulder. That's not good either. So it's good to get a 3-inch binder and use it as a little desktop easel so that it throws the wrist into extension and opens up that web space for writing. So we're gonna write this poem. I'm just gonna write one sentence, and I'm gonna show you what I look for in good writing. So we're going to write this sentence and make sure that all of our lowercase letters stay in the yellow and our uppercase letters bump the top and the bottom line. You guys are doing a great job. Take your time with writing. You can always pause this video. All right, so I wrote a sentence that says, "Here is my little garden." So what I look for, guys, you remember, is that your letters are bumping the writing line and sitting right on the writing line, just like you guys sit on the chair. They're sitting on the line. Sometimes you guys write dancing letters. I'll show you what a dancing letter looks like. That's a dancing letter. There's space underneath that E and that R and that other E and even the H. So you really want to work on bumping the line when you come down to make your letter. And then you have some of your letters, like your Y and your G and your P and your Q, that go down below the writing line. These are your go fishing letters, and I know we talk about that at school. So remember, your go fishing letters are G, J, P, Q, and Y. And sometimes we draw water to make sure that our letters go fishing. So writing is something that I want you guys to practice on your own. And if you do all those little exercises for your hand muscles, I promise it will get easier. All right, so we're all done with bin number 2. We did our cutting and writing. We need to do our shoe tying. You guys are doing so good hanging in there. So I have an old shoe. I don't have my shoe from school. And that shoe at school has 2 different colored laces. So Mom and Dad, if you want to tie 2 different colored shoelaces together to make a red and a blue side, that helps with shoe tying because you could see the laces a little bit better. All right, so we're doing an adapted method of shoe tying today. We're not doing our standard. Now you guys at Sunview, you remember you're gonna plug in. That little plastic tip on your shoe is gonna plug in to the top eye hole, and you're gonna have your 2 bunny ears. So now you have 2 bunny ears. Okay, hold them up. You're gonna make that X. And I'm gonna have this close to you so you can see it. And then one that's behind goes down through the tunnel, and you pull it up through the back. Good. You guys are doing great. And you're gonna make an X again, and the one that is in the back jumps down through that tunnel. Don't forget to keep that tunnel when you make your X. It comes up through the back, and then you pull. And you tied your shoe. You can take those little anchors out. So where you anchored your shoelace, you can take those out so it looks like a real bow. So you guys are doing a really good job. I'm going to show you the typical shoe tying method in case you want to practice that way at home. So if you guys remember, you first make your X. So make it up high and make sure you have nice long laces in your shoe. And then the one that's behind is going to jump down through the front, pull, and you're going to make a loop. So I'll wait for you to make your loop. And then you're going to take the other lace and you're going to swoop around. Make sure you save that little space down there and push down through that bottom hole and pull. You guys are doing a great job. All right, we're all done with bin number 3. You guys did a fantastic job. I hope that you stayed healthy. Try to get outside while the weather's nice. I miss seeing everybody. If you need to reach me, you can reach me through my email at Hilliard, HILLIARD @SEL.K12.OH.US. And I hope we're back in school again soon. I miss you guys. Take care and keep practicing those fine motor skills.